setbacks. Global debt continues to decline for the second consecutive year, as per the latest update from the IMF's database. Now, global debt has fallen 10 percentage points of GDP to 238% in 2022, and this fall is mainly due to the rebound that we're seeing in economic activity post the pandemic. But the IMF has raised a red flag, pointing to a rising trend in the debt burden. Ritu joins us now to take us through the details of what the IMF is saying. Ritu, the debt story, what's the IMF's prognosis?
The global debt burden retreated for a second year in a row, even though it remains above its already high pre-pandemic level. That's according to IMF's latest global debt database. The total global debt stood at 238% of global GDP in 2022, and that's 9 percentage points higher than in 2019. In US dollar terms, debt amounted to $235 trillion, or about $200 billion more than its level in 2021. Debt sustainability, now that is a big question mark, and that's why IMF has called for policymakers to be unwavering over the next few years in their commitment to preserving debt sustainability. Now, despite the economic growth rebound from 2020, fiscal deficits have kept public debt levels elevated because many governments spent more to boost growth and respond to the food and energy price spikes. Now, as a result, public debt has declined by just 8 percentage points of GDP in the last 2 years, offsetting only about half of the pandemic-related increase, and private debt, which includes household and non-financial corporate debt, declined at a faster rate, dropping 12 percentage points of GDP. But even then, the decline was not enough to erase the pandemic surge that we saw. Now, IMF data shows that global public debt has tripled since the mid-70s to cross $91 trillion by end of 2022, and private debt also tripled to close to $144 trillion, but over a longer time span between 1960 and 2022. China has played a central role in increasing global debt in the recent decades as their borrowing outpaced economic growth. China's debt as a share of GDP has risen to about the same level as the United States, although in absolute terms, US's debt of about $70 trillion is much higher than China's $47.5 trillion. Now, IMF has warned that more than half of low-income developing countries are in or at high risk of debt distress, and about 1/5 of emerging markets have sovereign bonds trading at distressed levels. And so the IMF has urged governments to take urgent steps to help reduce debt vulnerabilities and reverse long-term debt trends, something it highlighted during the recent G20 conversations here as well.
Ritu, many thanks for joining us. That is the IMF on global